If you've been paying attention to the national or local real estate news lately, you may have heard about the impending foreclosure wave or the housing market crash. I want to clear the air on that today, let you know if that's actually for real, and if so, what the implications are for you as a homeowner in Cincinnati or as a future homeowner in the Cincinnati area. Also want to cover if you are in forbearance on your mortgage or you're behind on your payments on your mortgage, 3 ways that you can avoid foreclosure. So very important topics to cover today. You want to stay tuned for that. First, we're going to take a look at the Cincinnati real estate market news. This is week 14 of 2021. We're going to compare numbers this week to the same week in 2020. So first off, new listings are up 2% compared to last year. It's a small gain, but any gain is very much welcome right now with the inventory being at historic lows. Any little bit of extra inventory for buyers to choose from is a good thing. Sellers don't need to worry because we're still very much in the seller's market. We're still seeing rises in sale prices and fewer days on market, which we'll see here in a second. So sellers still have the upper hand in negotiations, but any additional inventory is certainly welcome for buyers and for agents alike. The number of closings this week compared to last year is actually down 27%. The reason I think for that is the closings actually lag about 60 to 90 days behind the new listings numbers. And what I'm predicting that we're going to see here as we go through April and May is a significant rise in the number of new listings compared to last year. If you remember last year, we started the COVID lockdowns. We started to see 30 to 40% drops in new listing inventory coming week by week. So as we progress through April and May, we're going to see those numbers pick up compared to last year. And in 60 to 90 days after that, we're going to see the closing numbers pick up compared to last year. So I think as we progress through the summer, we'll see the number of closings on a weekly basis be significantly higher than they were last year. So overall, we'll have more activity. We're just not kind of seeing that quite yet because that lags behind the new listings numbers. Speaking of sale prices and home values, we're 13% higher this year compared to last year on average sale price. So double-digit growth again, which we've been seeing consistently week to week, which is great news for sellers. Of course, bad news for buyers, but we do have low interest rates that are helping to offset some of those costs. As a buyer, if you're thinking about waiting because you don't like the prices and the lack of inventory, I don't know that prices are going to plateau or decline anytime soon. So I don't think that's a good reason to not buy. There might be some other reason, lifestyle, for example, if you'd rather be a renter, why you wouldn't buy. But I don't think the prices are a good reason not to consider buying, because the alternative is renting, and of course rent is rising just along with home values as well. So average days on market compared to last year is down 50%. It's at 15 days. That's the average. So that includes homes that were overpriced or not marketed properly that have been on the market for a very long time, and it also includes the ones that sold right away. So the average is 15, but the median number, so right in the middle, is actually 2. So 2 days is the median number for days on market in the Cincinnati area. So that means that half of the homes that are listed on the market sell faster than 2 days, and half of them take longer than 2 days. So obviously, whether it's 2 days or 2 weeks to sell your home, depending on if you're looking at the median or the average, the point is that homes are selling very quickly, and they're selling for quite a bit more than they did last year. Overall, inventory did take a slight tick up this week compared to last year and compared to last week as well. We're at 2.52 months, so basically 2.5 months of inventory, which is still about 3.5 months short of 6 months, which would be market equilibrium, where buyers and sellers would be on an even playing field. So still very much a seller's market. They're in the driver's seat. It's a huge challenge for buyers to not only find a house that's acceptable to them, but also to win the house. They may be in a multiple offer situation. So still very much in the seller's hand in terms of the negotiation leverage. But I do want to, again, clear the air about this foreclosure stuff. So you've heard on the news that if you've been paying attention lately, even to some politics as well, because the foreclosure moratorium was extended to June 30th of this year. So that means that no lender can start the foreclosure process until July 1st of this year. Also, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, or CFPB, just proposed in the last couple of days here a pre-foreclosure reviewing period is what they're calling it, and that would actually prohibit foreclosures until January 1st of 2022. So it's not clear yet whether the deadline is going to be the end of June or the end of this year. We don't know if July 1st is going to start foreclosures or January 1st of next year. The point is to have it, to be aware as a homeowner what's going on and how that's going to affect your home values and potentially inventory in the market in general. So first off, if you're behind on your payments or you're in forbearance, just understand that you're one of approximately 2 million Americans that are in this situation, so there's no shame in that. If you've lost your job due to COVID or the lockdowns, or you've lost income due to that, in many cases, and probably the vast majority of cases, it's not the borrower's fault or the person's fault who is in this situation. So the 3 ways you can avoid foreclosure, the most obvious one, which I admit isn't really much of a tip, is you're going to pay the entire lump sum payment of the balance plus interest that's due. So on July 1st, your lender may give you the option of paying that lump sum plus interest right now to go ahead and bring your account current. So obviously that's one option, assuming that you already knew that and that's not something you're going to be able to do or want to do. The second option is to pursue what's called a loan modification. And so this is something you need to have a conversation with your lender about. You can do a lot of research, you can talk to experts, but you really just need to speak with your specific lender and tell them, hey, I'm behind on my mortgage, I know I'm in forbearance or whatever the case is, I can't afford the lump sum payment plus interest, but I want to stay in my house. So it's important to communicate with them what your intentions are, that you do want to stay in the house if that's the case, and that you want to work out a loan modification if that's possible. So what they would do is they would take that lump sum plus interest, your past due balance, they would add it onto the end of the loan, and then they would potentially extend the term of the loan, maybe 5-10 years, so that the monthly payments are affordable for you, so you can start making the payments again, you can catch up. Believe it or not, lenders don't want to foreclose on you because it's an expensive process for them, it's time consuming, and also for you, you obviously don't want to do that because it would kill your credit for quite a while, risk that you wouldn't be able to buy a home for quite a while or even rent from some landlords. And obviously you don't want to move out if you don't have to. So the loan modification is the best thing you can do if you can work that out. Alternatively, if you can't get a loan modification and you can't pay the lump sum that's due, you really only have 2 options. One option is foreclosure, and of course, due to the long-term negative effects to your credit, we're assuming you don't want to do that. And then the final option is to sell your house. So obviously I'm a real estate agent, so you may think that I'm trying to convince you to sell your house. I'm just trying to give you good information on what your options are. So this would be a last resort, again, to avoid foreclosure. Because the market has been so favorable towards sellers, the home prices have continued to rise week to week, month to month, every year for several years. Depending on how long you've owned your home and what condition it's in, you may actually have quite a bit of equity in your home. So I can help you crunch the numbers on what you could sell your home for, minus what the expenses would be to sell your home, minus what you owe the bank, and you actually may end up either breaking even or even walking away at closing with some cash in your pocket. Of course, you'd have to move out, you'd have to find a place to live, whether you rent or you live with family or friends while you're rebuilding your credit, but it's better than foreclosure. So you may be able to actually walk away with cash and have a completely fresh start, avoid foreclosure, make sure that as you make more payments on time, you're rebuilding your credit, and you can go ahead and buy another home if you'd like to. So again, there's no shame in being in this situation. There's 2 million plus Americans that are in this situation. It makes sense now, although we don't know when that date is, if it's July 1st or January 1st that foreclosures could start. It's best now to start understanding what your options are so you can avoid foreclosure. So there's no rule against selling your house right now if you want to, if you just want to be done with the whole mess and get yourself a fresh start. So if you'd like to talk about that, the conversation would be totally confidential. My goal will be just to educate you on your options and give you actual numbers on what your home could sell for and what you could end up with at the closing table, to at least initially see if it makes any sense to even consider selling your house if you're behind on payments, again, to avoid foreclosure. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and click the link there. That's a Calendly link, cross-references with my calendar, so anytime that's on there, that's available, you can go ahead and schedule. We'll talk for 15 minutes or less and just give you a good overview of what your options are, crunch the numbers right there, give you actionable information so you can make an informed decision about the best next step for you. At least, worst case scenario, you check off your list that no, selling your home doesn't make any sense. At least you would know at that point. Also, wanted to cover just in general, if you're not in that position of being behind or in forbearance on your mortgage, and you're just concerned as a homeowner, what's going to happen to the market, what's going to happen to my home value. There's been a lot of talk and a lot of scare tactics online, whether it's videos or it's news coverage or it's just blog articles or whatever. Some people are comparing it to the potential house crash of 2007 and 8. The difference right now is that the market has been very favorable towards sellers. Home values have been going up consistently. Most homeowners have quite a bit of equity in their homes. And what I had just been talking about, if someone's behind on their mortgage, they still have the option of selling and making money or breaking even at worst in most cases. So I'm confident that although people are behind on their mortgage payments and they may be faced with the potential of foreclosure, I believe that most people are going to be willing and able to actually correct that, either get a loan modification or sell their home in order to avoid foreclosure. So yes, if a large number end up selling their homes, that will bring more inventory to market, but we're so short on inventory right now anyway, I don't think it'll have a huge adverse impact on that. Now, if it got to the point where everyone's getting foreclosed upon and there's a huge flood of inventory, then that would be different, and that would certainly affect the market negatively. But given the fact that we're so short on inventory, and I think most people are going to be willing and able to make it work through a loan modification or through selling their home, because again, they're not upside down on their house like they were in 2007 and 8. They don't owe more than it's worth. Actually, the opposite is true. Their house, in most cases, is worth quite a bit more than what they owe on it. Even if they don't have cash to make their monthly payments, they can go ahead and cash out by selling their house and moving on. So just take a deep breath if you're a homeowner and you're worried about this impending wave of foreclosures. There will be some. We don't know, again, if that's July 1st or January 1st. But I don't think it's going to be a huge wave. I don't think there's going to be a huge market crash or anything like that. So, but if you're concerned about it, you have any questions about buying or selling or doing both here this year or in the near future, you can also go ahead and click that link to schedule a call. If you like this information, if it's been helpful for you, go ahead and click the like button here. That helps me know what information to put out in the future. Also, don't forget to follow my Facebook business page and turn on notifications so you don't miss anything. I do market news and buyer and seller tips like this twice a week, so you don't want to miss that. And also, don't forget, you can follow my YouTube page there. You can subscribe there to my channel. It's Patrick Grosser Cincinnati Realtor. And also feel free to comment here if you have any topics that you'd like for me to cover in the future that I haven't covered quite yet. It could be as specific or general as you want. I'm always looking for new ideas to educate you and the folks around me here in my local market, Anderson Township in Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky. So don't be shy about that. Let me know. And again, if you have any questions or if you just want to learn more in general about the selling process and what I offer my clients through what I call a target marketing approach, where in addition to the general marketing that most agents do, we actually find the most opportune buyers, those that are most willing to pay top dollar for your home, so you can ensure that your home is going to sell for absolute top dollar to the right person, based on the fact that those people are most interested in the features that your home offers. So if you'd like to learn more about that just in general, I put together a video with Greg from my marketing department. It goes through the whole process of what we do. It really helps you to understand the difference between traditional marketing and target marketing. So there's a link there too that you can check out, and there's an opportunity to reach out to me through there as well towards the end of the video if you'd like. So thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time.